That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper and wakey, eggs and bakey. It's week 11. We're here to get your fantasy lineup set, get some betting advice going with Ariel. Got the Brian Scott in for some injuries, and I got my fantasy friends in to help get your lineup set. Hope you're ready. It's time for TSS Fantasy. It's time for TSS Fantasy. Fantasy. It's time for TSS Fantasy. Fantasy. It's time for TSS Fantasy.
You know, the great thing about being a football player is you don't have to take a shower to go to work.
There it is.
Speaking of not taking showers, that's what Freddie looks like right now with that black screen. Indeed. Let's go ahead and take him off. Having some technical issues. Come to us live from Washington. So we appreciate you, my friend. All right, well, let's get the introduction started. Glad you're here waking up with us. It's a big week 11 for a lot of us. Again, let's pay the bills to begin with, though. If you're going to play any DFS today, go to Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code TSS. We'll double that deposit up to $100. They even give you a free gimme bet, which is pretty cool as well. So just make sure you check that out. Also, go to Jazz Sportsbooks. Lots of great promos in there if you use the promo code TSS. And if you're looking for some championship bling for your fantasy champion, look no further than Pro-Am belts. All right, well, I don't have any of my cohorts in right now, but I do have a medical professional in the house. We got to get our injury news in. Let's bring in Brian Scott from the injured list. What is
morning.
up? Hi, good morning. It's week 11. I know you've been busy. I mean, a lot of news from even Thursday even. So we're going into our Sunday matchups. Hopefully we won't see what we saw on Thursday this weekend, but we got some guys that are questionable. How are we doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm good. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Some changes that have occurred over the last 48 hours, which is pretty typical when you get down to late in the week there. Let's get started, shall we? Obvious stuff I'll get out of the way first. You know, the Deshaun Watson injury, shoulder out, surgery and season ending. I don't see him coming back, although there's been some speculation that if the Browns go far into the playoffs, he might. I highly doubt that. Joe Burrow with this wrist, I'm curious to see if there's going to be anything that pops up with an NFL investigation to see if they intentionally left him off the injured list heading into that game, because the injury just doesn't quite make sense. It seems like there might have been some underlying issue there that they did not disclose, so we'll have to keep an eye on how that unfolds. But needless to say, he's out with a wrist injury and possible surgery. And disclaimer, I got to put this out there. I don't want anybody asking me about Aaron Rodgers anymore. Okay. Just don't ask. Don't want to talk about it. On good news, Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield, and Matthew Stafford are all going to be participating today, all coming off of thumb injuries. Justin Fields has missed several weeks, as has Matthew Stafford, but both are good to go, and I don't think any of them are carrying any injury designations as well. So that's good news there on that front. Running backs, there's been some good not good per se, but a lot of information and stories out there about the running back situations. The Bears in particular, who are dealing with running back injuries to both of their running backs. But Khalil Herbert has officially been activated off of IR and got in 5 full practice sessions coming off a high ankle sprain that saw him miss several weeks. So he will make his return today. Donta Foreman has been listed as questionable. He had some limited practices this week dealing with his own ankle injury that he had against the Panthers last week. But he should be available. It's just a question of whether or not he'll actually get any significant time if he does suit up. So pay attention to that one as we get closer to game time. Good news for America's team as Devon Achane will make his return, and I do not see him having any lingering issues. Apparently, by all reports, he looked as fast as ever in practice this week, so he should be able to contribute once again. Damian Pierce has been officially listed as out after dealing with his own ankle issue. He was seen at practice, or not seen at practice, I should say, Wednesday and Thursday. Did get in a limited session on Friday, so there was some hope that he might be available, but lo and behold, he's officially listed as out. Speaking of out, Kyron Williams is still out with a knee issue. However, the team has reportedly said that he should be available week 12, and they're aiming for that as his return. Let's not forget he dealt with a high ankle sprain earlier in the week, in the season, I should say, and missed some time while on IR. So that's a tough break for him coming back now with a knee issue. Good news, though, Alexander Madison is going to be cleared from his concussion protocol after getting in a couple limited sessions on Wednesday and Thursday, and then having a full session on Friday. So he is expected to suit up for their Sunday night game, assuming he gets cleared by an independent neurologist. And heading into wide receiver territory, I had listed Deontay Johnson on here with a thumb injury earlier in the week, but it seems like it's pretty mild, and he was able to practice through it. They gave him like a rest day, I think, earlier in the week. Doesn't seem like it's going to hamper his ability to catch the ball, so he should be good to go. Keenan Allen dealing with an AC joint sprain in his shoulder, but the Chargers in kind of a must-win territory now as the season progresses, and they've got two other wide receivers who are both out with knee issues. So it sounds like he will be suiting up. He will be playing despite this injury, and he did actually suffer it midway through the game and still came back and played and was pretty contributed quite a bit. So it doesn't seem like it's a major one. Jalen Waddle will be available for America's team as he comes back from a knee injury. He actually has been removed from the injury report, so it sounds like he's made a full recovery. Traylon Burks dealing with a concussion is out still. Not good news coming from head coach Mike Vrabel. Sounds like he's really having a lot of symptoms and hasn't really been able to do much or progress at all through the concussion protocol. So this could be a multi-week thing here. We'll have to see what happens with him next week. Noah Brown is actually out with a knee issue. He missed 2 days of practice earlier in the week, and with Nico Collins and Robert Woods both expected to return today, it looks like Brown's not going to see any action with whatever knee injury he's dealing with. So take that as you may. Justin Jefferson, a lot of questions about him. Everybody needs to pump the brakes. He was quoted as saying that even though he is entering that 21-day window, he's going to be taking it slow. He's not going to rush back. So it's not really unexpected that he has not been officially activated off of IR. So he will not be available officially today. He's still technically in that 21-day window, has not been activated yet. So we'll have to see how quickly or slowly he ramps up his activity as the week goes by. Pat Freiermuth has been officially activated off of IR, so he will be available today coming off a hamstring issue. And then, just some update on Mark Andrews. His injury is as I suspected it was. He had an MRI which showed a small crack in his fibula, but more importantly, he had some significant ligament injuries, which are what is going to necessitate surgery and unfortunately end his season. He's actually scheduled, I think, to see Dr. Anderson, or he may have already seen Dr. Anderson here in Charlotte, North Carolina, who's a very highly regarded foot and ankle guy who's worked with a lot of NFL players in the past. So unfortunately for him, surgery is on the brink here, and he's done.
That's a shame. What about going into next season with him? What do you anticipate him starting regular season around the same time? Because this isn't an ACL or anything like that.
Yeah, he should have ample time to have a full recovery and be ready for training camp. So it's not going to be a majorly, as far as like time goes, it's not a long-term thing. The problem is in this immediate next few months, you really just can't do much while you're healing from that. You can't really stress that ligament too much after you repair it. So it's a significant amount of downtime early in the process, but long-term, it's not a terrible injury.
Nice. All right. Well, good to hear for Dynasty owners for sure. All right, Bri, well, where can we get all of your great content? Well, obviously, we'll see you back here next week, but happy Thanksgiving, by the way, because I probably won't see you prior to that. Where can we get all your great content in the meantime, my friend?
Yeah, so check out my Twitter handle at InjuredListPod, which I have posted here below. You can also check out the website, theinjuredlist.com. We do, Andrew LeDuc and I from Fantasy Sports Core do our weekly Inside the Medical Tent injury blog, where you can get some additional information and some strategies on how to handle your roster injuries. And then obviously I join TSS on Friday nights, which you don't want to miss because that's really where you get the bulk of the information. The Sunday morning is just kind of that last minute update prior to game time starting. So you want to really tune in on Friday also. And then let this kind of be the icing on the cake, so to speak. And I will be remotely joining us here Friday and Sunday next week. I'll be down outside of Fort Myers with the family on vacation, but I will be able to remotely tap in and provide some injury updates. So bear with me if things don't go so well, technologically speaking.
Yeah, wow. Boy, you'd be pretty close. You're a couple hours over on the West Coast from me, so good to hear. At least you be close to me during Thanksgiving holiday. Appreciate hearing that. All right, well, Brian, enjoy the day. Like I said, at least your Giants have a bit of a chance today. By the way, David, thanks for joining us today. I am not solo. I do have the Jester on the streets of DC, which is getting himself set up prior. And then, unfortunately, Greg the Juice called out early this morning. So, you know how those people are when they call out early. Yeah, whatever. All right, Bri, appreciate you, my friend. Good luck to you, and we'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, my friend.
Thanks. You too. Take care.
Let's get to the weather report.
It's time for the weather report.
All right, well, on to our weather report today. Games, there are not too many games in domes today, believe it or not. Only 3. Bears at Lions, Cardinals at Texans, and Seahawks at Rams. Those are games that you don't need to worry about your your throwers and your kickers, at least with the elements are concerned. First, we'll go to the Steelers at the Browns. 48 degrees, chance of rain, winds at 12 miles an hour. Sounds like an AFC North game to me. Raiders at America's team, 79 degrees. God, you can't, it's just picture perfect. Clear skies, winds 10 miles an hour. Gotta love it. Titans at the Jaguars, 76 degrees. Same weather, obviously, partly cloudy, winds 9 miles an hour. Chargers at the Packers, 43 degrees, chance of rain, and winds 6 miles an hour. So interesting there. Cowboys at the Panthers, 62, slight chance of rain. Winds are at 6 miles an hour. Giants at the Commanders, 55 degrees, clear skies, winds at 3 miles an hour. Actually, speaking of that, he's on the street. Let's bring him in. The Jester. How's it feel out there on the streets of Washington?
It feels chilly. I got gloves on. I don't know about that 55 degrees. Maybe that's at game time. Because it's cold out here.
It's a fall day. Well, welcome in, my friend. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I'm out here for the game of the week. I see Greg's hemorrhoids acted up, so he couldn't come on the show today. So sorry to hear about that. Preparation H, my friend.
Yeah.
But we're out here for the Giants Washington game of the week, game of the year. Let's talk about some football.
The game of the year. I hope that one don't go to OT like it did last year. Let's go. All right, let's go. The Bucks at the Niners. And 61 degrees over in Cali. Clear skies, winds are 9 miles an hour. Jets at the Bills. This is the fun one. 36 degrees, and there is a chance of snow in this one. Winds at 12 miles an hour. Vikings at the Broncos, 51 degrees, chance of rain, winds at 10 miles an hour. Eagles at the Chiefs on Monday night, 45 degrees, also a chance of rain, winds up to 13 miles an hour. So it could be an interesting one on Monday night for the Super Bowl rematch. All righty. Well, I got my boy in the house. Let's bring up, and we like wrestling a lot. So you know what we're going to do now. It's time for the Sunday Ultimate DFS lineup.
My final meeting with the gods from the heavens above, as they spoke to me and hit me with the power of the Ultimate Warrior. You can feel it, dude.
All right, so since I don't have anyone else in here with me that did a lineup, I'm going to just kind of go over Justin's and Jordan's and kind of give their at least somewhat of an explanation, I guess, of what they perceive things to be. But let's look at last week. Justin reigned supreme. I mean, 149.2, big day from Brock Purdy. Brian Robinson Jr., that was a nice call out. Amon St. Brown. I mean, how can you go wrong with Amon anyway?
Wow.
Debo had a good one. Like I said, Purdy, Kincaid, and I got that banner going on down there. But the Browns D also came up big for him as well with 15 points. Let me get that off there so we can see these when we pull them up. So a good day for last week for Justin. I mean, that's just he's been doing it all year long. And guess who? Jordan's been doing it as well. Look at that, 142, not far behind at all.
Wow.
Look at that combo. Look at that stack right there. Dak Prescott and C.D. Lamb. If you started out the season with that, I mean, you probably didn't draft them as high as others. You probably got some good running backs. You're probably winning your league right now, honestly. You got Brian. He's got Bijan, a 16.6 there, not too shabby as well. Ayuk came up big, and Najee finally came through. Him and Jalen Morin seem to be a bit of a good combo now. So, again, good job again by Jordan. And like I said, I'm going to explain these DFS things, but I'm just not very good at them, apparently. I can't even break 100. Look at this. 92.1. Look at that. Will Levis. Like, what was I thinking? I mean, I try to go for a value. I thought the Titans-Bucks might be a little bit of a shootout. I did get Mike Evans. That was about it. Michael Thomas, fresh off his jail stint, 1.9 points. I mean, it was just bad. Bijan, maybe Raiders D. You got to follow that Jets offense around the country. So that's my ultimate TFS last week. Here it is for this week. However, I'm going to change my fortune this week. I really, really, really like this Cardinals Texans. It is the biggest, believe it or not. And it's funny is if we did like a breakdown of the season, I can guarantee Cardinals at Texans would not be the matchup we'd point to, but it is the biggest over-under today. Kyler Murray, I mean, great value today. I spent a little money on Austin Eckler, to be honest. I was like, this guy's a touchdown machine. He's money every week. That was where I put my big money in. I did put in Tyson Chandler. I know Madison's been on that concussion borderline. I'll have to check to see if he's even playing. But you know what? I have to take someone for a little low value here. So, anyone around this value is okay. Dalton, but he's a good value, obviously, if he's the starting running back today. Dalton Schultz at tight end. I actually did the tight end duo with Dalton Schultz and Trey McBride in my flex. Again, loving this Texans-Cardinals matchup as far as fantasy is concerned. So much so, I even got Hollywood Brown in there as well. Christian Kirk as well, throwing him in his matchup against Tennessee, who's 26th against fantasy receivers, which is not bad. And how can you not like Terry Scary McLaurin against the Giants, who are 30th against fantasy receivers? So some good value. And obviously with these other matchups with Houston's, they're 25th against fantasy quarterbacks. They are 12th against receivers. So there is going to be a little bit of that. But, again, with Kyler coming back last week and not hooking up a lot with Hollywood Brown, you think that kind of gets right a little today, although I do like Trey McBride still. And of course, you got to follow the Jets offense. Just follow them around the country. Whatever team they're playing, you pick up the defense. That's the smart play. I mean, the Bills, no, and all kidding aside, Bills are a good D. Again, in a game that, like I said a minute ago, projects and maybe at least for some type of inclement weather, this could be an interesting matchup, at least for their both defenses, quite honestly. Let's go to Justin. Let's go to Jordan. Justin was first last week. So he also agrees. He likes Kyler Murray as well in this matchup. And Derrick Henry, he likes him going against this Jaguars defense. Put in Najee. He did well with Najee last week. Threw him in again in this matchup. This is a tough matchup, though, this week going against Cleveland. So I'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Logan Thomas against the Giants. That, of course, is a great matchup. This Giants D is just giving up points in bunches to the tight ends and the receivers, quite frankly. So I do like that. Tyreek Hill, of course, from America's team. How can you go wrong? One of the best receivers in the league. Going against this Raiders defense that has improved, but still don't think that they're anybody on that roster that's going to shut Tyreek Hill down today. Terry McLaurin just talked about the Giants secondary. Not very good. I think that's a good call there as well. Jacoby Myers. Now he's got a Raider going against America's team today. I don't know if I necessarily agree. However, I will say that game flow may dictate at least Jacoby Myers to get garbage time minutes. To be honest, I just don't see them in, right now, this defense, I think, gets off today. Everyone all healthy. So I'm not anticipating a huge day by this Raiders offense, but maybe because Miami gets up, they need to throw the ball. Maybe Jacoby does some points in there. Darrell Henderson Jr. in the flex. The Rams like that matchup as well today. And the Titans, a little concerning going against this Jags offense, but they have struggled a bit and have given up some turnovers. Trevor Lawrence has anyway, so it could be interesting. And we'll finish up with Justin's, my bad. Kyler Murray. All three of us, what is going on today? We all like Kyler Murray today as a DFS play. Comes in cheap. It's a good matchup. So we like him. Tony Pollard. Again, he's been riding that Tony Pollard train, but if there is a game, Tony Pollard's going to get off. It's this one. Carolina, horrible against running backs. So it could be a get-right game for Tony Pollard today. But Brian Robinson Jr., he's been riding that train, and it's been doing well for him. So I like that. Tyler Higbee today with the Rams against the Seahawks, who's given up a lot against tight ends. I like that. Talked about the Dolphins D. I already mentioned how I like that. Tank Dell, we just heard from Brian that Noah Brown we got some not playing today, and we got some other injuries in that receiver core. So I like Tank Dell as a play today. He also likes Tyreek Hill. Why wouldn't you? Cortland Sutton as well as a play today. I like. And A.J. Dillon going against the Chargers, who love to give stuff up to running backs. Not a bad flex play at all. We're getting into that A.J. Dillon season where the weather's starting to get a little cold. Captain Thunder Thighs is coming. All right, well, it's time to get paid now. I still got Brian's thing up. It's time to get paid. We got our betting expert in the house, Ariel. We appreciate her coming in. Let's bring her in and get paid this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to fatten your stacks with Ariel.
Oh shoot! I didn't even hit the wrong button, Ariel. I'm so sorry. Welcome in.
Hi.
I saw Freddie. I'm like, wait a minute. That's definitely not Ariel. Oh my God. Welcome in. We appreciate having you. I do want to apologize up front, however. We had a date night last night. I didn't see your message until late, so I did not get your graphics again this week, but I promised week 12 I got you covered. I'm so sorry about that. It's definitely on me. But welcome in.
Thank you. And no worries at all. It's all good. I gave them anyways.
No, we appreciate you. Had some great plays last week. Tell us about your good props for what you got this week.
Okay. Well, a lot of people know me as a straight play type of handicapper, and for 2 years now, I've been publicly the best that I've seen. No one has matched my public plays, and even last week, all of the 3 sides that I keyed in on won, and that's who I am. So I'm not a fantasy player. You guys are amazing at that. But I can give you some great props. And this week I did some math to those in the right direction, and some definite answers popped out. So let's get into it.
Love it.
Props are better handicap, starting with a predictive team play and how the players are likely to get it there versus looking at the player and his matchup to the team that he's facing this week. So this is very clear to me, and it makes me feel really bold and confident about these plays this week. Like this week, I love Miami to destroy Las Vegas today. Vegas is so bad that this game might actually go under too. And since Vegas is worse and Miami is good, my bet against today is Las Vegas's Aiden O'Connell. under 19.5 completions, and under 31.5 attempts. Next up, there won't be many points today in Cleveland, and I like the Steelers to win. So my bet against here will be Cleveland's Dorian Thompson-Robinson under 167.5 passing yards.
I'm
And
in on that one.
all right, let's do it. Solid play here. And Pittsburgh's Kenny Pickett under 186.5 passing yards and under 27.5 passing attempts. And let's add Cleveland's Cedric Tillman under 11.5 combined yards. Now, my third preferred game is the Rams to put away the Seahawks. So how do we get there? Rams. Let's focus on Royce Freeman. Over 36.5 rushing yards and over 8.5 rushing attempts. And moving on, let's think about the Giants game. Will the Giants score 2 touchdowns today? I don't think so. So let's play against the Giants. Tommy DeVito, under 164.5 passing yards and under 16.5 completions. And now, finally, to wrap up my plays, I have a long shot play for all of the action players out there. I like Washington today. So let's go with John Bates over 1.5 receptions. This is a solid plus.
I love that. I love the America's team analysis with the Miami Dolphins bringing it to the Raiders today. I will give you this prop bet you can throw into Vegas. I am in under 5 minutes for that's how much time I'll be spending watching the Commanders and the Giants game. Ariel, we appreciate you coming in. Let everyone know where they can follow, subscribe, and get all your great content because you do more than football. So it's great to hear all of your contents. Where can we follow and get it at?
Oh, absolutely. I post all of my plays every day. You could track them on my TikTok before the games at Ariel Callista. What you see on the screen, just combine my first name and middle name, and there you have it. You could also go to arielcallista.com and sign up for my free emails where I have all of the early action, all of the sport, all the line moves, how the line is moving, how they're reacting. There's a ton of useful information, and plus you got a free picture of me. So head over to my website and sign up for my free emails.
Free pick. I'm already in. But I will say, Ariel does a lot of great stuff. Is it Ariel or Ariel? I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
Ariel.
Ariel, I'm sorry. So Ariel doesn't just throw this stuff up there at the wall. A lot of great analytics, and she goes into how she gets those answers. So make sure you go follow, subscribe, get all her great content, really great plays, and we do appreciate you. Good luck today, Ariel. We appreciate you coming in. And before we send you off, we'll send you off with our boy from Patriot Sports Radio. He's got some homegrown prop bets to join in with your great stuff. So we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Great. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Yes, ma'am. Happy Thanksgiving, and we won't see you until then.
All right. Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We back. Welcome to Homegrown Props. I'm here at our favorite relaxation cultivation station, Can of Bloom Pharmacy. Use code PSR. You get 10% off your order today. I don't even know what this is. They got all kinds of shit set up in here for displays, experiments. We got various purple punch. Go get yourself some purple punch at canofbloompharmacy.com. That's it. Not a bad week last week. We could have been our best week ever. Rico Dowdle scored a touchdown with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left. I mean, Rico Dowdle last touchdown was in the bag, and then Tommy DeVito decides I'm going to use all the timeouts to be a hero and hits Sterling Shepard. 6 seconds left. Kill that bet. That said, we're back.
You can do it!
We're back. We found some great bets. Puka Nacua, over 5.5 receptions, plus 1 pass. I guess people are worried this is Stafford's first game back. The last time he came back from a thumb injury. he had a rough game, but that was the Thanksgiving game. I feel like they rushed him back. And the game after that, he was right back to his regular numbers. I think that's where we are in the timeline right now. Cooper catches 6 balls. I mean, that happens just about every single time. It'll happen again. Devonta Smith, over 64.5. We have no doubt about it. His targets go up, 4, 5, 6, 7% when that happens. I could expect Devonta Smith to have himself a big game. They're going to need to score some points, I think, in a primetime game against the Chiefs. Off a bye, the Chiefs are going to bring it. They're only scoring about 20 a game, but I think that number goes up. It's time to get in that playoff push. So both of these teams are going to be trying. Devonta Smith over 64.5 plus 105 seems like a great bet. Same game, Kelsey's and the Swifts both in the building. How does Travis not go over 84.5 plus 105? I feel like that one's in the bag. And then we got a fun one. Jaden Reed. He's gone over 80 in 2 of his last 3. Now he's got the Chargers coming in. Over 69.5 yards. Nice. Plus 500. Let's have a week. I'll see you back here right next time.
Marijuana is not a drug. I used to suck dick for coke. I seen them.
All right, well, stick and stay here. Get more homegrown fun with Wake and Rake and PSR host guy right after Wake Up with TSS Fantasy. All right, let's go, Fred. Let's make our picks.
We're on a mission, guys. We're on a mission, guys.
All right, well, going into our pick segment, here we go. And I hate to bring it up, but here is last week. Oh my God, what the hell happened? I went out on a lot of limbs, and all them limbs just broke. And Justin furthered his lead on everyone. Let's look at the standings. Oh my God, there's a new guy at the bottom. He's only one guy out, only one game out, so no problem there. 92.5, 57 there, whatever. 93, only one game out though, like I said. But look at Justin chilling at the top with 98 wins. Good job, my friend. All right, well, let's get on with it. Talking about, I guess my neighbor decided to mow the lawn this morning. That's nice. Steelers at the Browns. Steelers lead the series 81-62-1. Steelers won earlier this year 26-22. The Browns are favored by 1.5, and the over-under on this one is 32.5. Who do you like, my friend, in this matchup?
I like hopefully I picked this right. Let me look. Yeah, okay. I like the Brownies. Even though they lost their quarterback, I think there's going to be a very low-scoring game. And the defense of the Browns are just better than the Steelers. They both can't score, so I predicted like a 10-7, 9-6, or something really, really low.
The last time DTR was in, Browns D wasn't really that good because he kept putting them in bad spots all game long. So I don't agree, actually, and everyone else actually does agree with you. I am Mr. Lone Wolf this week. Go ahead and mark it up because, honestly, when you look at the matchup with DTR now entering the game, I liked Pittsburgh's defense. It's still really good. They still got their full complement of players, and honestly, their offense is starting to kind of form an identity, if you will. You kind of know where you're at with Kenny Pickett. So let's get back to these two good running backs, get to the ground and pound, play good defense. I think that wins this matchup indeed. All right, let's get on to the Raiders at America's team, the Miami Dolphins. The Raiders lead the series 21-19-1. The Raiders won their last meeting in 2021, 31-28 in overtime. The Dolphins are favored by 12.5. The over/under 46.
Whoa.
What do you say?
12.5?
12.5 points.
I know this is going to be a hammer because if you're 12.5 point favorites, ain't no way the Raiders are coming into Miami and going to win. We're going with the Dolphins. They're at home, and they're just coming off the bye, so they should put up a great showing.
I wish I had a soundboard because then I'd be playing the Colonial music right now because it's America's team, dropping America's hammer today on the Raiders, the Vegas Raiders. I even sold my ticket today because it was time to just relax and watch this game today because I really have no reason to be down there and having to stream because this is just already over. All right, let's get on to the next one. Bears at the Lions. Bears lead this series 104-77-5. Lions have won 2 in a row, 31-30 and 41-10. The Lions, well, they swept them last year. Lions are favored by 7.5. Over under is 47.5. Who do you like in this one?
I know Fields comes back today, and Herbert, but I don't see them beating the Lions. It's going to take a week or two to get their feet under them. So I'm going Lions all day.
Yeah, get the hammer back out, my friend, because we can hammer this puppy down on this one. I mean, I know, like you mentioned, Justin Fields, all that. That's great. It's still this Lions team, like I said, from the opener, going into KC. Now that we see what this KC team is, that's a pretty impressive win for them to go into KC and when they're doing that, when they're getting their Super Bowl rings. Go in there, take out the Super Bowl champs, and they have just rode that momentum all year long. I love the Lions in this matchup as well. Let's go Titans at Jags. Titans lead the series 34-23, 2 in a row. Last year, the Jags swept them 36-22 in 2016. Over under 40.5. Jags favored by 7. Who you like?
Wow, a lot of big point spreads. I'm gonna go with the Jags. They were embarrassed last week. That wasn't a real Jags team that we see in play. I know San Francisco's good, but that was straight embarrassing. I think today they come out and do a lot better showing.
I agree. I do think they'll bounce back today. Someone who does not agree, however, are Judge. He's the lone wolf, like in the Titans matchup. Maybe also he's in his mindset. The Titans also need a bounce back game. Jags have been kind of up and down with their offense. They've had some, again, they looked horrible last week. So maybe he's riding that momentum. But, again, I can't defend his pick. That would just be my thought. Playing devil's advocate. Chargers at the Packers. Packers lead the overall series 10-2. Last time they played was in 2019. The Chargers won 26-11. The over-under is 43.5. Chargers favored by 3. Who do you like it?
I like the Chargers, man. The Packers, Jordan Love has been regressing severely. So, this is I just don't see them being able to beat them. The Chargers has got that great offense.
Yeah, it's interesting because I have a conundrum in my league: Chargers defense or Jets defense today. Chargers defense is atrocious, but the thing is, the Packers offense has been very turnover prone. But it depends on which Packers offense shows up. So I'm in that conundrum. Do I go ahead and play that and hope, or do I play? I know it's a solid Jets D who scored 24 points against Josh Allen last time. We'll talk about that game in a minute. But anyway, long story short, I like the the Chargers in the overall matchup. I think offensively, they just have too much. I don't see the Packers answering. However, the juice is loose. He likes the Packers today. He's our lone wolf today in that particular matchup. All right, let's surprisingly is a great game fantasy-wise. Cardinals at the Texans. Cardinals lead the overall series 3-2. Last time they played was in 2021. The Cardinals won 31-5. The over-under is 48.5. The Texans are favored by 4.5. Who do you like in the overall matchup?
Wow, you're right. This is going to be a bonanza, I believe. Kyler Murray looked good. C.J. Stroud looked good. But I still have to go with the Texans. Kyler Murray's coming off a whole year layoff with only 1 week behind him. They look good, though. But I'm going to go with the Texans defense to win the game for them. Justin! Coop, you're on mute.
What's up?
Welcome in, my friend, all the way from Ireland. Gotta love it. Thank you for joining us. What time is it over there?
Oh, man, it's 1:30. These games don't start till 6. The 4 o'clock games start at 9. The 1 o'clock game is the 9 o'clock game is at 1. What?
Damn. Hey, man, you better go get some sleep. You got some football to watch. Hey, we're talking about the Arizona Houston game. Everyone went Houston, but who did you pick?
Oh, I picked Arizona. You know it. You know I picked Arizona. I'm riding that high off of getting it last week, too. Oh, shoot. We're about to get in the line for the tasting experience, guys. And you got last week, you got a little taste of Kyler Murray and what he's going to do every single week from now on, and that is go out there and ball hard. Picking the Cardinals this week. I love the matchup. I think C.J. Stroud's a good quarterback, too. But I think the Cardinals are going to ride this luck just a little while longer.
It's American Werewolf in Ireland on that particular pick there. Good job, my friend. All right, well, you're getting in line. I want to thank you for popping in. We appreciate you. I know it's we appreciate wifey allowing you to pop in while you're in line as well. So have a great time. Enjoy it. Hope you guys have many blessings and enjoy your time out there, my friend. Bye.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you, brother.
All right, kid. Gotta love
Ireland.
it. All the way from Ireland. Got to love that. All right, Cowboys at the Panthers. Finish up our 1 o'clockers. Cowboys lead the series 10-5. We don't need to spend a lot of time with this, but the last time Cowboys won in 2021, 36-28, over under 41.5. Cowboys 10.5. Who do you like?
I think we all like them Cowboys. It's just Carolina's not good.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to make a long explanation. And those in fantasy, man, who've had Cowboys defense, this is a great time to definitely have that D to go today. All right, well, let's take a quick break in between our 1 to our 4 o'clock. We got our boy Chris Fox in for our Dingus pick of the week.
This is the Dingus pick of the week with your host.
Hey gang, how's everybody doing? The Fox is a little sad this week because, well, I told you not to play Brian Robinson last week.
Hi, liar!
And while his 38 rushing yards still sucked as usual, and he still hadn't gone over 14 points since week 2, his 119 reception yards on 6 receptions, well, in PPR, that left him at RB1. And honestly, Montgomery decided to drop 17-2.
Oh, no!
So the Fox, well, is just real sorry about that. But I'm still 27-8 on the season, so trust what the Fox says and don't play these guys this week. First up is James Cook. See, Cook has only gone over 15 points twice all season, and with Latavius Murray cutting into his carries and facing that ridiculous Jets defense, he's a must-sit this week. Next up is Javonte Williams. We all remember how bad the Vikings defense was last year, but this year they're giving up the 8th fewest points to the RB position. And with Dobbs firing on all cylinders, Wilson's going to be passing the ball all game again. So don't play a banged-up committing running back like Javonte Williams this week. And lastly, we've never done a defense before, but absolutely do not play the Jets defense. What, Fox? I know. Allen leads the league in interceptions, and the Jets defense just plays lights out. But did you know they've only gone over 11 points once since week 1? Despite the interceptions, only Hurts has more top 10 finishes than Allen this season. Ask yourself who's going to win this game, and you'll see quickly why you should not play the Jets defense. What you should do, however, is watch that Efin Morning After Show this Tuesday and every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. on the Fantasy Sports Corporation channel. We wrap up your fantasy week, get you started on the next one, answer start sits. We even have a live call-in feature so you can join the show. And if you want to finish that playoff run, listen to what the Fox says. Have a great Thanksgiving and be safe out there, everybody.
This has been the Dingus pick of the week with your host, Chris Fox.
The Dingus pick of the week. All right, Mr. Fox. The only thing, and don't forget, check out that the morning after that's on Tuesdays right here on the Fantasy Sports Corporation. He does a great job with that. The only thing I'm going to say, though, about that Jets defense, so just going to throw that out there again. The only thing he didn't say was he said since week 1, well, that's when the Jets and the Bills faced the first time, and the Jets put up defensively fantasy 24 points. So that's why I'm in my conundrum. Like, I think they're actually a good play today. But there is that
all
one
about that weather, brother.
right. And is it this Josh Allen, excuse the term, but this Iceland volcano that just bulbs out today? That's my fear anyway. All right, let's get on to the next one. Bucks at the Niners. 49ers lead the series 19-7, 2 in a row for the Niners. Last time they played was last year. Actually, it was 35-7. The over-under is 41.5. The 49ers favored by 11.5. Who are you liking this one?
11.5. Wow, what a point spread too. Yeah, I got to go with the Niners. They looked awesome last week coming off their bye, and I just think they're back in their mode again. Niners all day.
All right, I like it. Let's put the hammer down. I just think, defensively, they're going to bring a lot to the table. I could see Baker Mayfield in a lot of not very good situations today. So, again, I just see a Niners just dominating this matchup. Let's go the Jets at the Bills. We've been talking about it all day today. Bills lead the series 68-58. Jets won earlier this year, 22-16 in OT. The over-under is 40. Bills are favored by 7. Who do you like in the matchup?
Come on, baby. You know the Jets need to win this one. Yes, we're in Buffalo, but Buffalo turmoil within it's been ugly. I know. I just think we pull it off, and I think Stephon Diggs is on his way out. Let's go, Jets.
I don't agree. I do think Josh Allen does get the ship righted a bit. Again, I just think as far as your offense is concerned, that's where the big trouble. You got Garrett Wilson coming in hobbled a bit, you know what I mean? And that's pretty much your best player. Now, the big bugaboo of the Bills is running the football. So again, if the Jets are smart, I've been saying all year, and they still haven't done it, they'll turn into
30 times Brees Hall. Let's go. Ground and pound.
All day. Every play, give Brees Hall the ball. That would just be my strategy today. All right, let's get to the next one. Seahawks at the Rams. Seahawks lead the series 27-25. Rams won earlier this year, 30-13. The over-under is 46.5. Seahawks favored by 1. Who are you liking this one?
I like the Seahawks, man. I don't know. They're just playing a lot better. They're just so boring to watch sometimes. But Geno Smith looked good last week, and they just seem to beat the lowlier team. So I'm going with the Seahawks.
I can see that argument where the Seahawks are clicking, but I think everyone's forgetting how well this Rams team was playing when Matt Stafford was in. So I apparently on our
look at you.
Wolfing it again. This could be trouble for me this week, but mark it up. Lone Wolf. It is what it is. Like I did this last week, and it was a bad thing for me, but I like the way this Matt Stafford offense was clicking prior to him getting hurt. I like that to come back this week.
2 lone wolves so far, bud. You either going to come up or go in the basement.
Oh, man, trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet. Vikings at the Broncos. Vikings lead the series 8-7. Last time they played was in 2019. The Vikings won 27-23. The over-under is 42.5. The Broncos favored by 2.5. Who you liking this one?
I'm on that Josh Dobbs train, baby. I want to see him play some more football. I'm excited to watch the Vikings. I don't think the Broncos will. I don't know, man. I think it's a real good story, and I want the story to keep going on. Let's go, Vikings.
Everyone also on that train, but I say let's ride Broncos country. Let's do it. Like I said, it's gonna make me or break me. Count it up, Lone Wolf again on this one, but I do like the way the Denver offense is starting to click a little bit. Again, if this is in Minnesota, I might feel differently. I like that it's in Denver. I think that just kind of plays out in the elements. I love the Josh Dobbs story. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is how can you not root for the guy? I just think that story ends today in Denver. All right, let's go. Monday night matchup of the year. Eagles at the Chiefs, the Super Bowl. Wow. Chiefs lead the series 6-4. Last year, 38-35 in the Super Bowl. Shit, I meant to write this down, and now I don't have it pulled up in front of me. I want to say the Chiefs have won like 8 in a row, too, or 5 in a row, 6 in a row. It's been a lot. I was like, "Ooh, I didn't know that." Over under is 45.5. The Chiefs are favored by 2.5. Who you like in the Monday night game of the year?
Oh man, I respect both teams, but I've always loved the Chiefs, man. I just love their offense. Mahomes, Kelsey, they're playing in Kansas City, right?
Yes.
The home crowd, that whole stadium is gonna be full of red everywhere. So I'm going with the Chiefs. Let's go.
Listen, this Chiefs team is different. It's different than last year. It's different than the normal Chiefs teams that we've seen before. They're defense oriented.
Defense, boys.
It's definitely different. However, fly, Eagles, fly, because I'm not going to sleep on the couch. Fly, Eagles, fly. No, I mean, honestly, this is a toss-up, but let's lone wolf it.
4 lone wolves this week. Holy smokes.
It down the stretch, actually. But, listen, I mean, I feel like this is a toss-up. This goes back to that Super Bowl matchup where it was 38-35. Anyone really could win. I really do like the Eagles, though, in the matchup just because you guys went Chiefs, and I figured, you know what? Let me just lone wolf them one more time. But again, and also I don't want to sleep on the couch. All right, so we got a couple of fantasy starts questions in before we get to Fantasy Jesus. Let's get mailbag.
You've got mail.
All righty, let's get to my first one here. It's from ChristianSinglesOnly.com. Sam Howell versus the Giants or Dak Prescott at Carolina.
Bro, they both look juicy. I have no problem starting either one of them. But the Giants are really bad. And Carolina's bad too. Oh, you know what, man? I've seen a lot of people starting Sam Howell lately. I heard I don't have him as one of my quarterbacks. I know he's really ranked really high in the fantasy leaders. So I'm going to start Sam Howell in Washington over the Giants. The Giants are terrible in every which way possible. And it looks like they are now trying to lose.
Yeah, surprisingly, Carolina has a decent secondary. And they don't give much up to fantasy quarterbacks or against quarterbacks either fantasy points wise. But they are very susceptible to the run. So I do agree with you. I think you might see a better day out of Sam Howell in this matchup. Let's go to the Joe Buck yourself. Geno Smith at the LA Rams or Josh Allen versus the Jets.
Listen, I know Josh Allen might fix it. I know they've been going through turmoil. I know this, that. But no matter how you put it, DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner are formidable cornerbacks, and their secondary is awesome. So I am going with Geno Smith. As I said earlier, he just beats not good teams, and that's what the Seahawks are about. That's how they start winning they're in the division race. And the Rams are just not good right now.
Yeah, I like it. Again, Jets defense been really, really good. Obviously all season long against fantasy QBs, and we're really good against Josh Allen last time. So I like that. Let's go. It's getting close to Christmas time. So, the gift I like to give is my Dak in a box. This is a question of which defense you like better today. Kareem Hunt versus the Steelers or Jalen Warren at Cleveland?
I said earlier that I picked Cleveland's defense over Pittsburgh, so I have to stick with that. I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt over Pittsburgh. He's been there. I mean, they're both viable backups, but I just like them a little bit better, Cleveland. So I definitely have to pick Kareem Hunt.
All right, I like it. Let's go to Thielen up your mom. Darrell Henderson Jr. versus the Seahawks or James Cook. I think that meant versus the Jets.
Versus the Jets. Okay, no. Darrell Henderson versus Seattle. He's probably what they have left. I mean, I know Cooper Kupp's out there, but lately I haven't seen them throwing the ball all around the field, going crazy like that. It just hasn't happened. And I don't like any, like I said, I don't like anything going against the Jets defense. They have Quentin Williams up front. The whole line is there. So, yeah, let's go Darrell Henderson.
James Cook has been that thorn in my side in a non-PPR league. That's just like, what do you do with this guy? He's just like there, and but I got to put him in because he's a starter. Now, he did save my fantasy game last week, mind you. So, I want to reward him, put him back in, but I do have a conundrum this week. Is it him or Kincaid? You guys are susceptible. It's tight end.
Kincaid might be the better play.
Yeah. He might be even in a non-PPR, which is crazy to think. All right, let's get to a couple more here. Joe Mama Mixon, Devin Singletary versus Arizona, or Rashad White at San Francisco.
Oh, that's Devin Singletary all day. Arizona, I like their offense. I like Kyler. I think Marquise Brown gets it in today. Don't like their defense. Devin Singletary has to run that ball today.
PPR, non-PPR. I love Devin Singletary. Did great last week. Listen, you're Barkley up the wrong tree with Jahan Dotson versus the Giants, or Jerry Jeudy versus Minnesota.
Well, I'm going to stick with Jahan Dotson because I picked Sam Howell. The Giants have absolutely nothing going for them. I don't even think Adoree Jackson's playing. And while, like I said, Minnesota got that little high right now. They're hyped up, yeah, let's play. So definitely have to go with Jahan Dotson against the Giants. It's just terrible.
All right, let's go. How I commit your mother. Tyler Lockett at LA Rams. Dalton Kincaid versus the Jets, or Tyson Chandler at Denver. It's, I believe, a flex question.
Oh, man, this is a better one because Kincaid, we just spoke, is good. The Jets have never been good against side ends. And Tyler Lockett or Tyson Chandler. Who are we going to pick? What the problem is? I like Tyler Lockett, but I don't see them throwing the ball across the field. They haven't been doing it lately, which I do believe they need to start again, just to do some play action and stuff. So let's go Tyler Lockett. I'm going to pick him against the Rams. Let's go with him and Geno Smith.
Tyler Lockett, let it ride. All right, and finally, I brought it up earlier. It's from the commission's corner here. Chargers at Green Bay or Jets at Buffalo. Which would you play?
Damn, man, they scored so good against Buffalo last time, but that was in New York. That wasn't in Buffalo. And, no, I'm going with the Chargers. Jordan Love is on. He's on his last legs. If he doesn't start to play better, they're thinking about drafting a quarterback. Damn, I do like the Jets, though. No, we're going with the Chargers.
He said he's on his last legs. I love it.
Dude, he is playing so bad lately. They're just ripping him.
All right, well, listen, man, I appreciate you being on the street, holding that damn phone up this whole time. Let's get you done here. Put your hands together and pray. It's time for Fantasy Jesus.
I'm here to save your fantasy rosters. Welcome in, everybody, to Week 11 Fantasy Jesus DFS picks. Let's get it started with Jordan Love. That was right. Jordan Love last week took all of our hearts. He were up for 2 touchdowns, 289 yards. And damn, if we didn't love that. He could go without the 2 picks, but hopefully this week against that dreaded, icky LA Chargers defense, he'll be able to pick it up and will be a great DFS pick for you this week. Next, we got David Montgomery in the revenge game of all revenge games. The only reason you go to a division rival is because you want to see this team and stick it to your old team each and every year. Guess what? David Montgomery came back last week, busted out a 40-yard run, looked really good, took 40% of the carries, and this week, I'm thinking it's going to be a big week for a revenge game, and David Montgomery is going to want to make the Bears pay for not re-signing him. Then we got Brandon Ayuk. That's right, as Skip would say, 11 from heaven. And Brandon Ayuk has been the big play receiver for the 49ers. This week is going to be big plays all over the place. They play the Bucks. I expect the Bucks to come out offensively and try and really get at the 49ers. I think Brock Purdy, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, they're all going to be needed. I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk on this one. Every time he gets the ball, it's a 20-yard catch. Then we got our tight end positions. Trey McBride coming out of nowhere. 2 of his last 3 weeks have been in the top 2 position overall for tight ends. Look for him to bust out another big week this week against the Houston Texans. Finally, we're going to finish it up with Tommy DeVito's funeral tour. That's right, poor Tommy DeVito is being put out there again this week against the Commanders. I know the Commanders have lost some players, but it's still Tommy DeVito. Play the Commanders defense with a lot of confidence this week as your DFS defense. This has been 5 DFS picks with your Fantasy Jesus. May your defense be blessed.
I'm not sure who to start this week.
Trust in your Savior.
Never question the loyalty of the Jester, coming all the way from Washington, D.C., and Justin all the way from Ireland. Appreciate you guys very much.
Gotta like and subscribe, guys. We got the giveaway coming up, the holiday Jester's gift sacks. Let's go. Like, subscribe.
You'll be seeing that out this week. We'll be having some advertisements for the Jester sack going out there. So make sure you like, subscribe, get all out there. What is up, Chris Anderson? Appreciate you joining in this morning. Miss you, my brother. I enjoy you. And listen, guys, if you do us a solid, stick and stay here on the Fantasy Sports Corporation. Wake and Rake is coming up next. Lots of great insight for your NFL betting, props, and fantasy. Keep it locked right here. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week, Tuesday. A very fun, special Thanksgiving edition of Waiver Wire Tuesday. We will see you then. We appreciate you, and we are out.